So as we're here getting ready to get started, let's work our way down onto our backs. We're enjoying a few beautiful breaths just to find presence with our body, presence with our breath, presence with anything that may be going on for us at this moment, and making the commitment to continue to check in with our body. So if things come up later on during the class, we're still present with it. That's what helps us be safe through some of the strong classes, because it helps us to realize, okay, this is the point when it's still okay to move on. This is the point at which I'm going to kind of try to play with it. And this is the point at which, I'm good. My body doesn't want to do that. And it's that good balance, because to strengthen our body, we need to bring ourselves outside of our comfort zone. But to not break our body, we have to stay, not going past a certain zone. And so that's the idea of our class today, is finding greater presence, greater connection to this beautiful body that we have that's working with us in this journey of becoming stronger. And so deeper presence, that's the idea that will lead us in toward our class today. So just try to be present with your breath as we take 5 good deep breath cycles now. One more deep belly breath. And with that nice exhale, let's take our knees into the chest. Let's start doing nice, kind little movements for the low back, for the sacrum, finding presence with this part of our body. Now, one of my goals as we travel through our class today is to build us up to a few of the yoga poses that are arm balances. So poses like crow pose and side crow pose, a couple of other fun little balance poses. And we'll take lots of space in between those different poses that we're going to take, so that way our wrists have lots of time to recover in between. But the idea is to head to some of those poses, especially side crow. We need to already set ourselves up with long muscles through the side body that's able to twist all the way to the side, but also strength through the core and strength through the back, so that we have lots of stability, lots of structure to hold us in some of those strong poses. And so the very first thing that we're going to start off with is a series of a couple of exercises back to back that are specifically working on strengthening some of those areas. The glutes, the back, the obliques, the core. So that way we can start heading in toward strong directions with those things. And so let's start off with a few bridge poses. Feet go to the ground, hands rest on the floor. And from here, we use a nice slow, long inhale to roll our hips up, and then roll up one vertebrae at a time. Exhale, rolling all the way back down that return journey. So that's our pose that we're repeating. We're traveling up for 9 and down. Use the whole inhale for the lift, 8. Entire exhale, release. 7. No rush, just enjoying the journey. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. And all the way up, last time. When we roll down, let the hips be on the ground. Knees come immediately above the hips. The shins stick straight out from there in a nice 90-degree angle. Arms slide open to left and right. And from here, with a nice inhale, we tilt partway down to one side. Wait until your exhale to bring you back through the center. So this is not an aspect of momentum, but it's really using that exhale to contract and using that contraction to bring us back up. So just enjoy the time being here. Nice inhale and exhale. We're starting to work the obliques a little bit here. Let's take each side again for 5. And 5. 4. 4. 3. 3. 2. 2. And 1. And 1. Good, one more exercise. Set the feet down for a moment. The hands reach up, bent elbow position right above us. With this exercise, when we exhale, we try to touch the elbows to the outer part of one of our thighs, so perhaps right thigh is where you start, and then inhale back to start. Exhale, second side, and back to start. The idea is that we're touching the side of the hip and the side of the knee, just like a side crow, building up to that nice twisted shape. Using that nice contraction to get us there though. So exhale, inhale. Five. 5. 4. 4. 3. 3. 2. 2. And 1. 1. Beautiful efforts. As you rest the feet down, let the feet go slightly wider than normal, and then they take a few nice windshield wipers. Left and right. Just enjoy that nice opening, the nice release, a chance to check in with our body. Notice how the body did already. Is it doing okay? Are we already at a good, almost peak where we just want to maintain? Do we still have places where we can go? So from here, take the knees all the way into the chest, and let's let the knees fall all the way into a nice resting twist over to that left side. The arms are open. Let's let the gaze go over the right hand side. Maybe even imagine somebody grabs your right wrist and pulls it a couple of inches to that right side, helping it get just slightly deeper. We're really enjoying presence through this shape. So instead of just kind of throwing ourselves into the twist, we're taking time for our muscles to relax into it. So really be present with it so that you're always at a good edge for your body. Not pushing it too far, also not making it too easy. Enjoy another beautiful inhale. And exhale, the knees come up. They take the twist to the second side. Gaze over the left fingers. Maybe even pull that left hand to the left just a little bit further. Another good inhale, and exhale brings the knees back up. From here, what we're going to do, setting the feet back onto the ground, we're going to start making some of the poses that we took at the beginning, the bridge pose, the oblique twisting, and that last one with the crunches to the side. We're going to take those same poses as a skeleton, and we're going to add a little bit of difficulty. And so making it just slightly deeper, 3 poses back to back. Now that being said, if the variation I give you gets to be too much, what I want you to do is just go right back to that first variation that we took, just normal bridge pose, etc. And so here, to make it just slightly harder, what we're going to do is allow the right ankle to come up onto the left thigh. And so now it's just one leg lifting us up. We're gonna go for we'll add a couple bonus. So 7 lifts with this left foot on the ground, and then we'll switch it out, 7 lift with the right leg on the ground. So when you're ready, hands are on the floor by the hips, roll up the hips, lift the hips 1 vertebrae at a time, peek up, making sure hips are level, and then roll back down, exhale. Here's 6, and down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and right foot goes to the ground, left ankle comes up. Let's take 7 to that side. So lifting up 7, make sure hips are still level, and roll down. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. From here, we uncross the ankle. We take our knees up over the hips. This time the legs stay straight the whole time. If straightening is too hard, you can have a little bit of bend or go all the way back to where we were, that 90-degree angle bend. Open up arms to each side. With an inhale, we tilt partway to one side. You control how deep that is. Remember, again, it's just the exhale that brings us back, not any sort of momentum. So inhale, straight legs to the second side. And exhale, return. Follow your breath. 7 more to each side. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. And from here, the last one, touching the outer part of the thigh. This time, one leg will go straight up to the sky, the other leg will lower down. It can lower halfway, that'll be slightly easier, or lowering all the way to hover above the ground. That's perfectly fine. We have bent elbows, preparing to touch the leg that's up at any time. And here we're going for 10. And switch. 10. 9. 9. 8. 8. 7. 7. 6. 6. 5. 5. 4. 4. 3. 3. 2. 2. 1. 1. Good. Rest the left foot to the ground. Right leg gets to stretch its way up to the sky. We're holding onto the back of the thigh or the calf and gently giving it a stretch in for the hamstring. Checking in with our body now after that round. How is our body feeling? And take this right ankle up onto the left thigh, arms threading around the left side, setting up for that right hip opener. As we start to release, switch it out. So right foot is on the ground, left leg up to the sky. Grab on, give it that stretch. This wonderful time to get pulled inward. Left ankle up onto right thigh, thread around the right side. Enjoy that hip and opener here as well. Good. As we release our hands, we'll add on one more level of difficulty to these 3 poses back to back. Again, if you need to bump down to level 2 that we just did, or bump right back to where we were at the beginning, that's beautiful. It's this idea of consistency, trying to move back to back through these poses. That's what helps us build this wonderful strength. So for the bridge pose this time, our left foot will still be doing the lift up and down. At the same time, our right leg is going to straighten up to the sky and then lift directly up, lower and lower. Likewise, at the same time, when the leg is on the ground, the arms are up overhead. So we're adding in the arm strength as well. So we take 10 of these, the arms go down, the leg rises, and then we lift up to bridge. And hips down, legs down, arms up. Here's 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Arms stay up overhead. Plant the right foot. Left leg slides long. Let's take our 10 to the left leg. So when left leg rises, arms come down and hips lift up. Good. Arms return, leg returns down. Here's 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Arms open up to left and right. Our bent knees come right above the hips. When we tilt partway to one side, this time we take a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Bring your weight. Exhale back through the center. Inhale, tilt to the second side to prepare. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend, switch sides. Going back and forth. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. 3 more to each side. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 2 more each. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Once more each side. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. From here, we allow the straight legs to go up to the sky. This is the one where we touch the elbows to one thigh. When we rest the arms down up overhead, the legs need to lower and raise so that we can touch the second side. Lower and raise. Exhale. Lower, raise. Don't lower so much that the low back has to lift. Rather, it's a nice, maybe 45-degree angle. Enough to really engage the rectus abdominis, not too much more. Let's take 5 more each side. 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, and 1. Whew, good work. Take a little break, allowing ourselves to do nice knee circles. A couple of little stretches. So now with our back muscles strengthened, with our obliques strengthened, and with our twisting ability to lift up to that position strengthened, we're ready to start heading closer and closer toward some of those positions that I promised. And so let's first take just a couple of nice stretches. Set the left leg to the ground for a moment. Right thigh crosses tightly over the left thigh. Bring the thighs close to the chest. If you can only reach for each knee, grab for each knee. Otherwise, slip down to each ankle. Pulling them in, you get a deeper hip opener. Feel the heart rate calming, slowing back down. Feel all the strength in the body. It's like it's bubbling up for us. So start opening the arms to each direction. Knees begin to tilt all the way, even in this crossed shape, over to the left. This gives our spine another good chance just to strengthen and elongate. And hips gradually to the ground. Switch it out, right foot's down first and then left thigh does that tight crossover. Knees into the chest, grab onto each ankle. Hips opening nicely as you gently pull in. Releasing the arms, we let the knees fall over to the right. Same little twist, helping to elongate the side body, especially obliques. and allowing hips to return back to the ground. Let's roll like a ball, uncrossing the legs, hug around the thighs. We're gonna aim for 5 sets of this. So rock back and up. And 4, finding this balance. 3, 2, and on this last one, we come up toward a nice seated position, cross our legs, go forward and through. And here we're ready to play with our first crow pose. So come into a toe squat, you're balancing on the toes. The fingers spread nice and wide. I plant them on the mat in front of me at shoulder distance wide. And I prepare to lift my hips up, setting my knees on the triceps. Now the gaze is very important as we're heading into this. I want my gaze to be about a foot in front of my hands on the ground. As long as I have a laser focus on that point, it's almost impossible to actually fall forward out of it. It's got that drishti, it kind of keeps us in this perfect balance. So just to whatever extent you have with crow today, allow yourself to set up for the position, find that laser point focus, start to rock forward, maybe one set of toes lifts for a moment, maybe both. Try to find your steady balance. Maybe another breath or two of playtime. Good. And then when you wrap up, come back down to sit gently behind you. Feet can be planted for a moment. Take your wrists out in front of you. And we're going to let our hands peel fingers all the way down and then fingers all the way up. This is gently strengthening the wrists. So hands down, hands up. Let's take 5 more of those. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Setting up back into boat pose, we allow ourselves to balance on the hips. We're trying to lift the toes up maybe level with the ground. The idea that we take it in this boat pose is that the toes extend away from us. We lean back just a hair, and then we touch our elbows to the outer part of one of our thighs. Reaching back out long, touch the other thigh. So it's very similar to what we were doing on the ground, just adding in this aspect of needing to balance on our hips. Here we're going for 8. 8. 7. 7. 6. 6. 5. 5. 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, and 1. You've earned a nice cobbler pose. Let the knees open. Just relax the spine up and over. Rising up slightly, slide the heels forward about half of a foot. Place one hand on each knee and then relax back into the cobbler's pose. This time as we're here, let's start to sway left and right. The sway comes from pushing one of our hands into the knee. You might get to the point where the elbow straightens. For instance, as my right arm is straight, my nose comes over the left knee. And then I go back through the center, left arm straightens, my nose is over the right knee. Just gently rocking my way back and forth. This is helping that low back to continue to loosen up, get stronger. Okay, and as we're sitting right back up, take the knees back into the chest. This time as we're balancing in a boat pose, our hands are gonna be stacked like I Dream of Jeannie. As we're balancing there, we're gonna exhale. The exhale takes us into a twist as far as our torso and our arms are able to travel to one side. The inhale will be floating back to the middle. Exhale takes us to the second side, and then inhale back. And just move at your own breath pace, however fast or slow that is. So find your boat pose. If you need to make this easier, by the way, just keep the feet settled down and you'll just be doing that pose just like that. So if you're taking boat, let it float. Find the I Dream of Jeannie arms. Exhale, twist as far as your arms can go. Inhale, center. Here's 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Come to a seated position for a moment. We're gonna work on a new arm balance here at our sides. The hands plant, palms flat. And from that position, I kind of have the side edges of my feet down so that my feet can help just slightly as I push into the ground, trying to lift my hips up. This might not be much, but try to lift that inch or so that you can. You can always come down if you need little breaks, but that's what we're trying to do, is just find that nice lift and eventual release. So if you're going at the same pace as me, let's take 5 more, trying to lift, hold for a moment, release. And 4, 3, 2, and 1. Whew, good job. Shake the hands out for a moment. And let's take a little bit of time trying to work on our the chaturanga position. Chaturanga is key to the side crow because that's kind of the tilt that we take, that nice 90-degree angle shape. So the stronger we can get with our upper body being able to hold us there, the better and more sturdy the pose becomes. Same with the normal crow. So what we're going to do is either take kneeling plank, straight line from knees up to shoulders, and then hold in chaturanga as I count down from 10, or lifting up the knees, hold in chaturanga as I count down from 10. If chaturanga is hard for you, you can absolutely just take like a half push-up, come to the spot where you still have control, and you can hold for that countdown of 10. Okay, so knees up or knees down. Rock forward, squeeze the elbows into lower, and here's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down. Good work. Lift up your chest ever so slightly, and then you're going to take your left arm under and through, set the left shoulder down, and then try to relax the head down. This is just a gentle shoulder stretch. Lift up and switch. It's the right shoulder getting set down. Okay, as you unwind, your hands find their way under each shoulder. With an inhale, we press into the hands. We only lift up a good 3, 4, maybe 5 inches off the ground, and then we lower back down. You should be feeling shoulders and pectoralis muscles engaged through that gentle press. And lower. So use your inhale to lift. 8, and down. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Lift up for a moment with Cobra, and then settle back into Child's Pose, letting those arms and the back muscles get to stretch long. Start to walk the hands as far over to the right side as you can reach. Maybe one or both elbows slide into the hip or the side of the knee, almost like a side crow here. Helping to stretch the left side body. Preparing for side crow in just a moment. And walk the arms back long. They go through the center. Over to the second side. Maybe slide one or both elbows into that position, right by the knee and or right by the hip. Arms slide long, walk back forward. Take another 3 breaths just to enjoy this place. We find ourselves walking up, and here's where we get to play with side crow for a little while. So the first thing we need to do is come to a toe squat. So you're balancing on your toes, lifting the knees up. Bring your inner thighs together and squeezing them together already. From here, if I'm going over to the right side, my right elbow is at the hip, the left elbow is at the knee. If the flexibility is not quite such to set both of these positions up, then I'll show you a second variation you can do in just a moment. But this is the first variation, touching elbows to hip and knee. I start to lift my weight up. It's like I'm setting my weight onto the elbow shelves, like a chaturanga. And then I try to see if there's a moment where I can just balance lifting the toes up. So that's the first variation. If the right elbow can't touch the hip, what the right elbow does instead is goes away from your body, stepping it about shoulder distance to this back angle. From there, same thing, we lift our weight up, setting it onto the shelf, and then we use that strength to get into it. This side is a little bit weaker for me, so this will be when I'm playing with that variation on the second side. But just take maybe 2 or 3 more breaths playing with this side. Remember, the gaze is right in front of you to encourage us to find that perfect balance, that drishti, that point to look at that helps us stay in balance. So maybe one more attempt on this side. And then from here, drop your knees down for a moment, shake the wrists out. And we'll take our way onto the second side. So first variation, when the elbows touch hip and knee, we gaze forward. Start to rock your weight onto it until you can balance. Or second variation, the elbow by the knee stays, the other one steps to that wider, about shoulder distance wide or slightly wider stretch to that angle. And we begin to take our nice chaturanga to balance there. So that one takes a bit more strength. The first one takes a bit more balance. So take a few more breaths just to even give yourself a little bit of playtime. Even kind of just setting your body into this twisted shape is a really good prep because this is flexibility in itself. So maybe one more time, just kind of playing with it, trying to get there. And then whenever you finish, let's make our way down to sit. We're gonna take some nice little stretches to wrap us up, heading us toward our Shavasana pose. But take a moment to check in with your body, checking in with that quality of presence. Do you feel like you were with your body when you were playing with that side crow? Or do you feel like you kind of left and you're like, I'm just gonna watch, so be with your body. That's the invitation here is is no matter how hard it is, we're being with our body in the amount that we can do. So that might mean backing off. And sometimes it means playing with kind of a half variation. You know, there's lots of things we can play with here. So let's take some wrist stretches though. So right hand takes a stop sign signal, and then the left hand sweeps around, pulling back all the fingers and the thumb. Nice wrist opener. When you release, let those right fingers point down now, and then bring that left hand in to curl back that way. And then as you let go here, you can either work on opening and closing right hand, maybe rolling right wrist out, or even shaking right wrist out, whatever feels best. Left hand stop sign, pull back fingers and thumb. And then as you release, left fingers down, pull back that way. Release, maybe it's rolling, opening and closing, or shaking. Okay, so from here, as we're winding our body out, let's plant the right foot. The knee is upright, left leg extends long out in front of us. And we'll use the left hand or the left elbow to hook around that right knee. Now our posture needs to set up tall, so engage your core, lifting spine, and then use your exhale to spiral into the twist. When you release, come forward, drop this right thigh to the ground. Inhale, circle arms up to the sky. Exhale, a nice forward fold. From this forward fold, take both hands to the outside of that left leg and start to walk your hands as far over to that left side as you can reach. You can either just stay in this long stretch, just make sure hips don't have to lift off the ground. So you can either stay here or perhaps one or both elbows slide back into the outer part of this left thigh, helping to stretch out the back muscles, those side rib muscles that are needed for that side crow, so that next time we play with it, we can have greater presence, greater ease to get into the shape. Start to walk the hands long back through the center. Take a little counter stretch, walking over to the right side for a moment. Just feel the back release. And coming back in, let's switch the legs out. So right leg is long, left foot is planted with knee upright. Right hand or right elbow hooks for the twist. Lift the spine up, inhale, exhale, spiral. And as you return, this knee falls open. Inhale, reach both arms through the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Both hands go to the outside of the right leg. Starting to walk over to the right, just make sure you don't have to lift the hips up. Maybe one elbow slides into those one or both of those side crow positions. And walking back long. Go through the center, over to the left side for the counter stretch. Beautiful. And as we work our way back up to sit, let's come down onto our spine. As we're laying down, we take a chance of presence here. A chance to listen to the breath, listen to the muscles of the body. With this presence with our physical body and what's going on, we give ourselves a chance to give one last gift to our body before Shavasana, and this is the gift of a massage. So have your hands come to a spot of your body that feels a little bit tense right at this moment. A lot of times with arm balances, I see people's shoulders hike up to their ears, adding a lot of tension to that area. So perhaps your area is massaging through the back of the neck and the tops of the shoulders. But perhaps there's another spot. Maybe hamstrings need a little massage, or maybe feet or low back. So whatever it is that would give your body a beautiful release, let's be present with the body to give it the gift now. Heading into the beautiful massage, just a high amount of kindness. And you're welcome to continue for a bit longer. At any point that you feel complete with your little massage, you're welcome to start dropping your hands down by your sides. And as we find presence in our Shavasana today, we connect with our breath. So notice your breath flowing in and out when you get there. That presence with the breath, even naming inhale, exhale, etc. With that presence to lead us in toward this beautiful Shavasana. Let's connect inward and relax and integrate now. Allowing the inhales and exhales to deepen for 5 more slow breath cycles here. And as that 5th exhale completes, we start to introduce movements to fingers and toes, ankles and wrists, stretching out like we're waking up first thing in the morning, and eventually taking a nice fetal position to one side. Another good breath in and out. And we find ourselves rising up toward a comfortable seated position. Hands joining together in front of the heart. We commit to presence, greater presence with our experience, with our breath, and with our body as we travel into the rest of this beautiful day. So with presence to lead us on, let's wrap up this time we got to share together with the sound of Om. Deep inhale now. May we be filled with light and happiness and peace. Namaste.